Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? Ooh, my hair. Wanna make it look good. Okay. Ooh, so nice to be back. I was not feeling good again today. When seasons change, my body can't adjust like normal people do, and my condition gets worse. But yeah, I've been having a hard time lately. I hope that I can fix by the time I get to Taiwan. I'm going to Taiwan this month. Man, it's already this month. It's crazy how fast time flies. But how are you? I'm sorry if if I'm not energetic enough today. My stomach is still hurting or aching. Yeah. I see John and J. Ross. Hello, thank you so much for coming. how how have you been for the past week? For Japan, we had this issue. This is from Tuesday. This says Chinese military airplane, Chinese airplane, like a military. It's not no longer like Coast Guard or anything. It's military, and they came into our territory, like airspace. So, and they stayed there for 2 minutes, and it was a huge deal. And we're still, I guess, like looking into it. I don't exactly know what happened. I haven't really, following that news after that. But there's like a few ways to look at it though, because we are not sure if it's intentional by the authority of the government, like if there was an order, or the military people are trying to make some credit, to be acknowledged by the government and so forth. And also Japanese, I believe our side has stepped into their territorial waters before, like recently. I don't exactly remember, but that happened. So maybe something is going on. I don't know. But so there are many ways to look at it, and I don't know the information, but I just wanted to tell you that there's this thing. And also in the Philippines, no, with the Philippines, in the South China Sea, there was literally a conflict. Like the ships of the Philippines and the Chinese, I think it's a Coast Guard, like they crashed. The Chinese side just came into the Philippine side, as far as I can tell in the footage. I don't exactly know again what happened. I am busy, with the stomach pain. So I haven't been following the news very well this week. But yeah, so things are happening with China over here in Asia. So yeah, and Ukraine situation is changing as well. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your super chat, right, and son. It's been a while. How have you been? How's life? How's life? It's good. It's good. Aside from my condition, my health condition, I am doing good. I actually let's talk about another thing. I went to listen to this city council member in the Fukuoka city, and it's not my city though, but I went there because my husband is friends with the city council member. And also the gathering had a guest speaker that was also my husband's friend, a longtime friend, and they were talking about globalism and so forth. So yeah, that's what I did. Oh, extra super chat, thank you so much. She helps me. Thank you. Congrats on going to Taiwan. Thank you. Yeah, I have to make a speech. I haven't made a script yet, written a script yet, but I should. It's about Russia. It's the forum that has been taking place for over 10 times, right? Like the next time, the one that we are attending is probably like the 12th. So yeah, they made this forum, like it's Free Nations of Post Russia forum, I think. So they're thinking about the post-Russia space. Like after Russia collapses, what's going to happen? What kind of vision do we have for the nations that are oppressed by Russia right now? Soviet Union collapsed, so now Russia could collapse as well, and Ukraine is going into the Russian land right now, to counterattack. That's great. And Trump might get back to the seat, right? He might get back. He will most likely get back to the White House. So when that happens, the negotiation of what's called ceasefire deal will be made, and so all sorts of forces are moving right now, taking actions. And we as activists, we are thinking about, what to do. Yeah, I really want like peaceful nations, in the region. That would be great. The only concern that we have, at least for Japan, is about nukes. Like we don't want to, what's the word, a proliferation. We don't want to have that of nuclear weapons. So super chat, thank you. Hey Yoko, we have Venezuelan gangs taking over towns in USA, really, and migrant crimes in several European countries. I hope things are going better in Japan. There was some riots in it's not big though, but still, like, I saw like 5 to 10 people running around I believe that was in Nagoya, like Aichi prefecture. But I heard Middle Eastern, but I didn't really look into it. But regionally, sometimes weird things happen. Kurdish people in where is it, Kawaguchi or somewhere, and stuff like that. But yeah, so I have to be cautious. But at the same time, I seriously think that our police have to do a better job. They don't want to cause problems. The reason why I believe, like, this seems like a off-topic thing, but it's not. I'm staying on the topic. Former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot to death. But before that, when he was giving a speech I believe in Hokkaido or somewhere, the opposition people were trying to disturb, right? Like they were making noises, and then the police. Well, my husband is here in the next room, and the police they went on to catch them a little too tightly, and because of that, now police cannot. They overdid it, so they don't want to be bashed by the citizens. So now they don't really do things much to catch the bad guys when it comes to the disturbance like that. And yeah, so they didn't do enough for Abe when he was attacked. So things like that. And same for immigrants. I think that there are immigrants, and there are legal ones, and those who ignore like updating their visa and so on. So when that happens, we just have to send them back, right? And because that's the law. But somehow, especially because the media is biased, left biased, and blah blah blah, the left side is strong when it comes to human rights, and so they don't want to be bashed, so they don't deal with actual problems. Even though we have the system, they don't use it well. So I guess that as citizens, we have to push them to do a good job. Yesterday, actually, right now we are having, like, we are having a, a an election in LDP. LDP leader will be chosen soon, which means prime minister, picking a prime minister. And yesterday, one of the candidates had a speech in public, like on the street in the city. So my husband and I went there to, we went there too. And there were leftists. They were raising their voice to disturb too. Yeah, it's crazy. And the police was there too. They, like, whenever we have a political um like a gathering or protest in public, we have to tell the police, like, we have to fill in a document that, oh, we are going to be occupying the streets here, and we have to draw a map and, oh, there will be this many people and blah blah blah. Like, we have to give the information to the police, and police uh, gives us the permission, and so that's done illegally, right? But sometimes there are groups that don't do that application. And yesterday it was obvious that they didn't have the permission, the leftists didn't have the permission, and they were trying to attack the LDP candidate, leader candidate. Even though we had a big gathering, they were using the speaker and trying to disturb. And then police were there, but they were just watching, because probably their judgment was that it's better off that way. Because if they try to do something about it, then there could be, like, it could backfire, right? And things will get worse. So they chose the lesser of the two evils, and they just let it be. And we were frustrated because it was hard to hear what the candidate was saying and so on. But things like that happen. So it's out about our choice, I think. But anyway, Trump doesn't even budge. If it's Biden, they would have canceled everything. Hey Yoko, was your area of Japan affected by the typhoon? Oh yeah, typhoon. Sort of. When it was approaching to my island, Kyushu Island, the wind was so strong, and we were like, oh my gosh, like, it was a huge, really huge, strong typhoon. So we were like scared, right? Like, whoa. Like, we were scared. But then the first day it was approaching kind of to, and it was hitting the southern part. That day it was windy. The next day when he approached to here, there was nothing. Like, there weren't even winds. And we actually had windows open when on the news it had a clear map of the typhoon hitting here. So it was bizarre. It was my first experience, but I guess from what I hear, what happened was that there was a big is it mountain? Like, yeah, mountain in, I guess, Yakushima or somewhere. And so typhoon hit there, and then it kind of slowed down or made it shrink. Like, when it hits, it, like, it can't get bigger. It rather become smaller. So that's what happened. So by the time it reached here, it didn't have much impact. So that was good. But still, like, people that are living in the southern part, some people got affected. It's always like that. My place is usually, safe. Oh, super chat, thank you so much. In the UK, Pakistani immigrants committed crimes against underage girls for decades, and the police didn't want to be bashed by the media, so they did nothing. Oh yeah, see, that's the pattern, right? I hope things don't get that bad in Japan. Thank you for your concerns and super chat. Yeah, I guess that citizens, like, it's all about, so because you know it's important to think about human rights. I'm a human rights activist myself, and I value human rights. It's the most important thing. Freedom and human rights, those elements are really, really important for me. But we citizens have to be smart, you know? And all these authorities, they like in democratic nations, those authorities don't want to don't want to be bashed by citizens, yes. But if we have a good like common sense that that is missing right now in most of the countries today. But if we have common sense and sophistication, and then we can create a good cycle, right? So when it comes to all these problems that are happening in like developed countries or democratic nations, what I notice is that it's the failure of education. Those leftists that are vandalizing your legacy monuments and so on in the US, your leader back in the day and so on, and like they're trying to vandalize those statues and whatsoever. That's the failure of education, in my opinion. So that's even just for like, yeah, like religious beliefs and education. Those are very important, right? That's what I've been realizing over the past few years. Like what connects us and what creates peace. It's the common understandings and common values. Even if our religions are different, we can approach it in a way that, like, those who believe in what we can't see, that what is above us, like if we can, it's to me it's like we have different perspectives, even though we are looking at the same thing, we are looking at like a limited part of the big picture, or we are looking at things from a different angles and so on, and we are actually talking about the same thing. That's how I feel. And so if people can respect how we are like that, it'll be great. But people are emotional. All the problems that I see, like in politics or in society, I realize like I'm getting older, and I do lots of self-development thing. And what I'm realizing is that their problem of ego is reflected somehow. They reflect that, like, they project that to politics and so on. And yeah, and disturb the peace. And I really want to stop that. Oh, there are more people. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. It's so nice to see you again. Hey Yoko, hello. Did you see Kamala and Walt's interview? I haven't. I heard about it, that she had the first interview, right, as a VP candidate. How was it? What do you think of Tim Waltz? I heard the phrase tampon Tim. So like that stuck in my head. That's stuck in my head. But yeah, that's like, I have the impression of Tim Waltz as tampon, like because it was such a shocking thing to learn about him. Like why would you want to put tampons in boys' restroom? It's just bizarre. It's weird. Yeah. But I am curious of his stance when it comes to China. Some of you told me, and I've seen it somewhere too online, that he was invited to China, but at the same time he has met His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and also and Hong Kong too. Like he is a supporter of human rights. Those who are oppressed by China. Like he's fighting for them. It seems. I have the impression of the same way as Nancy Pelosi does, but I haven't collected any information about him yet, so I can't really say anything. But yeah, I can't really tell right now. But as for domestic policies, he is super leftist, just like Bernie Sanders, and I don't like that sort of politicians. So in Japan, by the way, oh, Wait, super chat. Thank you. Oh, Yoko tax. Yay. Thank you, Bird Up. Always thank you, thank you, thank you. It makes me happy. Oh, Nate is here too. Yoko tax. Yes. Thank you. Yoko still looks 21. Good. If my husband, I guess he went out or he's in the next room. I don't know where my husband is. But yeah, whenever you guys give me a compliment saying that I look younger, he's like, no. But if I'm in America, if if I spend my time in the US, I think that people would think that I am younger than I actually am. So that'd be good. Maybe when I'm way older, maybe I should live in the US just so I could feel young. Yeah. Kamala spoke a lot and said nothing. I saw briefly I was checking Fox News and I saw something about Kamala. Oh, oh yeah, that her policies changed, right? Like she now wants fracking, and also she's paying attention to like she wants to do something about middle class and also border. She's pro wall now. She wants to build the wall now. Like I'm confused, right? Like how? Because she said that she won't do anything about the wall because like under any circumstances. And now she wants to do it. So I'm confused. And it's very rude for voters in the US, I think, that she changes like that. At least have some belief in her policies, just because she wants to give votes, or rather, she is listening to her brains, right? Those who that she hired, those who made Obama win back in 2000, was it 8? Those who supported him to guide him. Now they are helping Kamala Harris, and now she is listening to them, and she is like a robot. Like nothing has changed. Even though Kamala Harris is a new face, she's female. She's a female. She's younger, and she's more leftist, more on the left side. But it's the same as Biden. That she's a puppet. That she's not speaking from her heart. She's just reading the scripts, right? And I don't know. There are people though that just wants to vote Trump out, and for that they just vote for the Democratic Party candidate. But why are people so gullible? Yoko, oh, super chat, thank you. Another one. Do you still feel Japan is a safe country? Yes, yes, of course. I mean, I can walk around by myself. So can elementary school kids, even females, like small kids. They're walking around, playing around, and you can drink sake in public. It's safe. I don't know what the definition of safe though. I mean, I have nothing against guns, but we don't have guns here, We don't have swords. You need permission, like a legal procedure to have swords, and you are not supposed to carry that around. So nothing violent happens. Sometimes, of course, we have crimes, but it's not like the majority of us are Japanese, and so there are no racial problems. We've had problems with Koreans before, but that have been settled, I feel that Korean people, I bet that it's hard to live here, but they came here by their choice and they're living with their consequences. And also, like Japan and South Korea, we, especially under the current president Yoon from South Korea, like under his administration, our relationship, relation has gotten better. So, like, it's way better than before. And so the only problems that we have is we are having issues with economy. So we have crimes that are related to technology in a way that, like, the crimes that use technology, like Telegram and so on. So what happens is that it's like a pyramid, like a hierarchy thing. So there's a boss, and they have people underneath, and under more in underneath. And so what happens is the boss gives an order, so it goes down and down and down, right? And then the guys at the bottom, they are recruited as jobs, like what we call, like what do we call some, oh, dark, I was if I may translate it directly, it's dark part-time job. Seriously, that's what it's called. So dark part-time job. So if you apply to that, then you get a job and you can earn money easily, but you're committing a crime, and your boss could be overseas. One big problem that, the police already arrested the suspects, but the boss was in the Philippines, and they were even in a prison, in the prison in the Philippines, and he was giving order to our people here, and they were committing crimes for him. And so, yeah, so things like that happen, but once the economy is better, I think that it would cure. But I actually was listening to my husband's friend yesterday, the lecture that he gave, and he was talking about how there's a new way of import now. It's import, right? Yeah. So we have all the ways, like technology and so forth, to produce, right? Like lots of products, even like foods. Like sometimes we have to, we harvest something, and we need to do a little bit of things to make it up into a product, right? So even though we know all the ways to make that product, we send that to another country, like in other Asian countries, and teach them how to do it, prepare all the factory and so on. And they do it, they hire the locals, and then we import that here, even though it's our like made in Japan products originally. Like they send it to the cheaper labor, and then that comes back here, but it's creating a bad cycle in economy. So it's rather dropping money and technology overseas, and then we are it's supposed to be, originally it's supposed to be our people, right, doing all this labor and everything, so that our money, even though we pay the money is dropped here, so that the drop money will be invested here, like those who got the money from us would buy something from here. So it will eventually come back to us. But if we have the cycle now, if we continue the cycles that we have now, then we are actually making ourselves poor in that way. So it's similar to what Trump is saying, "Make America Great Again." Withdrawal from factories overseas, but it's not that simple method. There are patterns like that too, that simply the factories are overseas, so we have to pull them. But there are others, like our products, we know how and everything, but we just ask foreigners to do it, or foreigners overseas to do it, and then do it. So yeah. And then also our population, of course, is decreasing. So there are people that think that we should hire foreigners so that we can sustain our economy. But again, it's not gonna create a good cycle for us. So man, a lot of things to think about. Oh, Sipacha, thank you so much. Kamala is trying hard to be the next Obama. But does she really want to though? Is she that greedy? I can't really tell. Her positions are disingenuous. It's difficult. And her policies are vague. She's running on personality alone. Yeah. I understand vague. Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about the majority of time, and I know that she doesn't know what she's saying either. Because if she knew what she was talking about, then she would explain it better. But like when even just about AI, like remember about AI. Oh, AI is 2 letters. I'm like, seriously? Yeah. But I guess that they can't, like the Democrats can't be precise though anymore, because if they do, then the people will notice the problems of their policies. Oh, my husband is home with some foods, I hope. Chubanova likes her personality. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Her personality. Like, I don't know. Like, when I look at Kamala Harris, like, she looks like just a typical, just nothing special about her, Like, I can't believe that she's top of the top people, one of the top people, Because I know that there are, like, extremely smart Americans, regardless of the color of their skin. Like, it doesn't matter which race they are, but I know of smart Americans, right? And on the top of all these smart people in America, I said in a weird America, America, Kamala Harris is there on the top, and she could, right? She could become the president, and it is just weird. Like, I'm not convinced, Hmm. She looks like just an ordinary person, like doesn't seem evil or anything, just a little weird in the head, Hillary Clinton, for example, she calculates everything. Like, I can tell her greed, like she's greedy. And even though she's, she knows what she's doing, and she knows how to get to, climb up the ladder and so on. And man, like even the White House situation that she had to go through with her husband, I can't believe that she was that strong. Like, even though politically speaking, I don't get along with her, right? But as a woman, of course, like I have a certain amount of respect to her, and she being a female, and being surviving in the political field in America, like, oh, that she is powerful. And like it shows, like, we can see like what kind of person she is. And like, uh, even though I don't like her policies, still like you get it, right? But Kamala Harris, I don't have any impression of her. Like, oh, it's so hard. And all the policies that she's talking about, like, it's pointing out a lot, but she should do, she should reflect the policies that she says that she wants to have. Like, she should apply that now. She's the vice president now. Yeah. Let's go back a little. Hi, Yoko. How is Japan's greatest samurai? I'm doing better now. Now that I'm speaking to you, I feel better. I was having a stomach ache earlier. But life in general is really good, Like, financially, I'm struggling, but you guys are helping here, obviously. And so it really is helping too. And yeah, political works are good. There's some news that I want to share soon. I can't tell you what it is yet, but good news is coming soon. Not really about me, but kind of about me. It's gonna happen soon. And yeah, and then going to Taiwan, right? Yes. So yeah, it's been slow. Like this year, my husband and I, we haven't been going to Tokyo. So it's been like I feel like it's been very slow, but we've been doing things, yeah. And I've been writing articles about the presidential election in the US. So yeah. Let's see. Good morning from New Orleans, Yoko. Great to see you again. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Hello from Cali. Oh, cool. I've been to California. Like hurricanes, when they make landfall, they lose energy and become less powerful being away from ocean water. Oh, a typhoon, yeah. Let's see. Kamala Harris dodged the questions. Seems like a softball nothing interview where nothing was learned. Do you like football? If so, what is your favorite Japanese soccer team? Oh, soccer? I have no idea. It's not in Japan. I feel that people like soccer, but baseball is bigger. I feel. I see baseball a lot on TV. Like they broadcast baseball on TV a lot. Not really soccer. When it comes to soccer, it's usually the World Cup and like or the world class competition. Usually, yeah. In America, it's football, right? Yeah. Otani is doing well though. Where's that newspaper? This is actually today's newspaper. See? Otani 43, 43. And this is a front page, the whole front page is this. You see the Otani-san picture. So he's our hero now. We really thank him, He is like, he has so much so-called soft power, military politics and that sort of things are categorized as hard power, and all this entertainment and sports and this sort of things. This is soft power. Is it Joseph Nye that defined that? But yeah. Oh, super chat! Thank you so much. Kamala rose to the top of smart people, and that means higher. So, oh my god. So Kamala is promoting equity but rising higher than other people, which raises other people higher so she can be higher than them. I can't do her laugh. Like she claps her hands, right? Thank you so much for the super chat, though. You're so fluent. at Kamala language. So cool. Our prime minister, though, could become somebody that speaks like her, though. So, worst case scenario, I really hope this doesn't happen, but I can't deny it completely either. Let's say that our leader becomes Shinjiro Koizumi, the son of former Prime Minister Koizumi, Shinjiro Koizumi. He speaks like her, and Kamala Harris, if whatever happens, if she becomes a president of the U.S., they have a conversation. As I said before, it will be a nightmare. But Trump, man, Trump really has to become the president of the U.S. now. Now that especially Kamala Harris is stealing policies from Trump, right? She is such a copycat. But now, because she's saying the same thing, it doesn't really make a difference, between Trump and Kamala Harris. So you gotta choose Trump so that America will rise again in the world, like America, like don't get me wrong, I know that the US is the biggest country in the world by far. But the presence under Biden administration, the America, like when I picture Biden, I sense weakness, right? And I love America. I want to think good about America, but Biden is leading the country, and all this, his policies have been so vague, and like it's like like he thinks on the spot. It's, I don't know. There's a part of me. What if this is all calculation? Like the way that he is fighting against Russia right now. It's depleting. Is it the word deplete? Like Russia is getting tired of it. Like they're getting exhausted. We are getting exhausted, but Russian side is getting exhausted too, right? And there are some frustration beginning inside a country with drafting and so on. So that's good, but can we say that they saw it ahead? Because there are lots of damages here, like on our side, so I can really tell. And I just can't simply trust that administration, because that Biden administration is not handling the immigrant situation well, like illegal immigration, right? Those who are flooding in from the southern border. And then now Kamala Harris, as their candidate, wants to build a wall. Like they're not thinking, like they are they have a wishful thinking, I think, that it's unity and it's diversity, equity, and then they open their country, and then they have they started to have problems, so now they're going against them, and it's like what are you doing? Yeah. He did bring ice cream. Oh yeah, I hope. No ice cream. I'm gonna stare at him with my Asian eyes. When I'm angry, I'm like, I go so Asian. Yeah. Man, when we Asians laugh, what I've learned is that when Koreans smile, I can tell that they're Koreans. Why? Because their eyes go like anime. Like you expect Japanese people being like having this, like our eyes going like this, but when I smile or do this, like the this part doesn't go this way. It's just line, right? But Korean people, when they smile, they're like like so like, it curves. Like it's so cool. Like oh my gosh, like you have the anime face, So cute. Hmm. Also, thank you, Berta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If Kamala speaks to another person who speaks by here we go, says nothing, and they talk back and forth, open a void that will swallow us all, then we'll end up in an alternate reality where only Kamala makes sense. Yeah. Seriously. It's it's difficult to read. Yeah, only Kamala Harris. No, yeah, that's so true. Yeah, she probably is making sense to herself. Do you think that it has something to do with her being mixed? Like the way that she uses her language, even though she's of course, like English is her native language, but like sometimes I sense the Indianness, you know. It's it's really like she is explaining things in a circle, like from the foundation, like in America, like Americans when they speak, you dark you speak the conclusion or you mention things darkly, but I don't sense that from Kamala Harris. Maybe it's a cultural thing. What do you think? Right now, my wallet is unburdened by what is being. What do you mean? Yoko, Japan is better than America in baseball. I mean, no, Tani is good. It's so crazy. This. You know why this gives us hope? It is because he's doing this in America. America. He is challenging the records in America. And why is that meaningful? Because America is the biggest country in the world, the highest level in all sorts of things. Do you remember the Olympics that took place in Paris? In Olympics, you know, I it was really shocking, in a good way when I was watching the opening ceremony, which was very stressful. But when the athletes were entering, they were coming in on a ship, right? And our people Japan had lots of athletes as well. And it's something that we can be proud of. But when we saw America, holy cow. The ship was so huge. There were lots of people, and they actually took a lot of the medals. And it's no matter how wrong the administration right now is, government is full of problems and troubles, but there's a chair. I'm pushing the chair. But yeah. America is huge, no matter how wrong the government is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pushing that chair. Cool. I am strong. My chair is such an independent chair, Yoko has the force. Call me Master Yoko. Awesome, I am. The strong power I have. Is there a husband ghosts at work? The force is strong with this one. Yeah, it was just like, yeah. It's really, yeah. My chair listens to me, so which reminds me, I started to watch this zombie series called Z Nation. And I was watching it, and I just realized like it's a apocalypse, and so the world war basically ended because of the virus of zombies. And then there are survivors, and in the US, it's located in the US, but so the main characters, they tour around the US, and sometimes they encounter the survivors, right? Humans. And what happens each time is that the survivors have gates and they have walls, you know? They have gates, they have walls, they have rules, and if the characters don't obey to them, then there can be problems, that's the setting. In TV series, they understand it. It's of course produced by I bet the less biased people, like entertainment field is the majority are leftists. But in TV series, they understand the meanings and importance of borders and all the rule of law. But somehow in real life, they don't get it. Isn't it like vice versa? Supposed to be vice versa? Oh, super chat! Thank you so much. Another super chat. Kamala's language isn't because she is Indian, because in India it's different than America. But Indian people can come here, and American people can go there. And we are the same. So that means Americans are Indians. Oh my gosh. That's brainwashing. That is so brainwashing, man. That's actually good. It's different than America. But Indian people can come here, American people can go there, and we are all the same. So that means Americans are Indians. That's like a math equation going on. Wow. Oh, Gary, too. Thank you so much for super chat. Did you know that a Japanese and an American football team played against each other last year? And the JP team won 41-20. And I mean American football. Oh, yeah. Football? Not rugby. Football? Football? Maybe rugby? But yeah, our people are like, it's so weird that like it's really recent, it's a recent thing, but Japanese sports teams have gotten better and better. We didn't see this before, but I guess that it's, we were in the World War II, it ended, we reconstructed our country, from 60 to 70s, like they were growing and growing and growing, right? And 80s, we were economically strong, even America was frightened. Yeah. And then after that, we went economically, we had a bubble pop, and things began, like, our economy got worse. But I guess over the past decade or 2 decades, we have prospered in a way, right? Like we are not in a war, even though our economy is bad. We are in, or we've been in this peaceful phase, right? At least until now. So in the meantime, I guess that our people were able to invest in like education and sports, like individually. And unlike China or North Korea, our people, our athletes are doing things individually, like on a personal level, right? And it's working well for us. And but what's interesting though is sports is such a luxury here, unless it's like baseball or soccer too. Baseball, soccer, it doesn't really cost too much. Maybe swimming too. But when it comes to golfing or other, or maybe basketball is cheaper. But depending on what kind of like figure skating or golfing, like it costs so much. But there are rich enough people here. I'm thankful for them, that they are actually going into sports, because sports is also part of our national power, so I really thank all the athletes that are good. It gives a good impression. Yeah. A VTuber sang a classic baseball song at his game in the States. Really? Interesting. Am I the only one seeing a chair move? It happens. Yes. Master Yoko actually has a good ring to it. You'd feel really well in a Star Wars movie. You already practiced Kendo, right? Yes, exactly. Yes, it's Star Wars is such a appreciation work of the Japanese culture, so we are thankful for that. And I heard the one of the production team guy speaking about Kendo influencing them. Yeah. Fun fact, Yoda's way of talking was based on Japanese sentence order, right? Yeah. That's a problem that I had. When I was younger, when I was in university, I had lots of chat buddies, in the world. And I mainly talked to Americans. But one of the guys that I was talking to at the time was a Mexican dude in California. I actually knew two Mexicans, but they were both legal, right? But one of them, I was talking to him a lot, and because my English wasn't as good as today, I was directly, translating. So what happened often was that something I think, right? something I feel. So I was speaking in the order of the Japanese, and he was actually saying that I speak like Yoda. So he was telling me not to speak like Yoda, But that's just how it is. It's so hard to like. I still like sometimes still struggle, reversing the orders, because I have to know beforehand what I'm gonna say in English, right? In Japanese, you can ramble, you can think as you go. So man, I had to practice a lot. Ooh. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. Yes, I love that. My favorite quote. Yes. Right now, so like, seriously, like among our people here, those who are around 60s or a little bit above are the most problematic people. They haven't produced anything. They just enjoyed when the economy was riding the wave, in a good way. Like when economy was getting better, they were young and like in the 20s or so, and so they had so much fun, but they didn't start big companies or anything. They were just there enjoying their lives, and now they're older, so they can take all the social welfare as well. So like such a lucky people, but also unproductive people, Like I thank them for, you know, giving birth. We have lots of people, from them, but that's pretty much it, And they didn't um do good things politically, so we are affected. Our like we are the children age, so and they're so loud in politics too, and kind of degrade. Our culture has changed, like elderly people, like super elderly people, they're sophisticated, they're smart, they have class, but 60 to 70s or so, like around there, they have this attitude, you know, and really like kind of low class culture on X as well. They're loud. They don't have class, and it's problematic. You do really well speaking English, Yoko. Thank you. That's such a compliment. Thank you. Do you watch the YouTube channel Lotus Eaters? No. I don't actually watch YouTube much. I only listen to, the channels that I watch at Milet, the self development guy, Kyle C's, and who's that? Dr. Joe Dispenza, and that sort of things. So, like, other than that, I just watch Netflix. And then when it comes to politics, I check on X and newspaper sometimes, and then mainly from my husband. I ask him lots of questions. He's my mentor, political mentor. So, yes. Super chat. Thank you. Does the current Japanese government still take a cautious approach to accepting refugees? And do you think a Shintoism revival could help Japan? As for Shinto, we've been the same. Shinto doesn't have a Bible or anything. It's just Shinto isn't really a religion. It's more about customs. It's in our everyday life, like before we eat, we do this, and like it's attached to our life, and so it hasn't been gone, even though people don't realize it. And some teachings, maybe, and it's attached to our history, to recognition of history. So because we are not teaching history well, we are kind of disconnected, but still people go to shrines. Like we have to go to the shrine after this stream, actually. Oh, it's been an hour, I have to go. We have to go to shrine because it's the first of the month. Every like at the beginning of every month, we go to the nearby shrine to greet to our kami. So that's what we do. But still, though, the belief, like boosting the recognition and understanding of Shinto would give a like a large, like a big benefit to the Japanese society. I think that's what I want to actually do. Remember who we are. It's attached to our identity, and we have to push what our ancestors believe in and so on. Like it has a lot to do with like how our nation started. So I really hope to encourage the people here to feel Shinto closer and so on. Yeah. And yes, the Japanese government has been cautious about accepting refugees. Yes. It hasn't changed. Mm. And Japanese people, what happens often is that because there are those foreigners in Japan that cause troubles, including crimes. Whenever we see that sort of news, that agitate us to hate them. We have such a peaceful country here in Japan, so it actually doesn't matter if they are foreigners or not. It could be a type of Japanese people too. Whenever there's a group of people that disturbs our peace, we get hostile. We're like, what are you doing? Because it's not easy. Like Japanese people are often say like, oh, Japanese are so nice, and they are very listen to you, and blah, 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 blah. Like they say that we are nice. It takes a lot of effort to be nice. We are suppressing ourselves so much so that we get on X and release our anger, onto the phone. That's why our usage on X is extremely like we write a lot on X. It's crazy, right? But that's a lot of it is frustration and anger rather than sharing information. People don't want to share information. Sometimes there are life hacks and so on, but mostly what goes viral is anger and frustration. Why? Because we are being nice in public in real life, right? So whenever foreigners or whoever that is breaking our rules or laws or peace, then we are not gonna, because we are making efforts. You are supposed to do that too, We gotta suffer in pain together to maintain peace. So Yoko speaks great fluent English. No Japanese conservative speaks English like her. Most sound like Nobita. But I think Nobita's English is important because that's so Japanese, Yeah. But what's interesting about him is that I feel like he knows grammar better than I do. And he knows a lot of vocabularies as well. Like the English level is very high, I can speak naturally, but that doesn't mean that I have a high level of understanding. So, yeah. Novita says Japan's immigration system is not as strong as Americans think. Really? Maybe the detention situation or something. But what happens in Japan is that we keep changing our system, for the better. We are improving because whenever there's a problem, the left media always say like, oh, human rights. But our government, LDP government, doesn't care, and they they think of the best way to protect our country. So it's gradual. The shift is always gradual. But one thing there are many, like, when you think about society, what happens is that you if, if you want to find the faults in society or systems, you can find as many as you can. Like there are so many problems that you can point out, but it's like you can always think about the worst case scenario, and you should think about worst case scenarios, but it doesn't mean that it's always correct. We gotta see, we gotta lay out what's really happening, right? What's happening right now, why it's happening, and the cures that we have, like countermeasures we have, and the problems of reflecting that to the society. And like we should think in phases, so I try not to think about things in an extreme way, you know stay. Gotta do. Lotus Issue is a UK conservative politics. I feel like I've heard the name before. And they mentioned Japan is being forced to taking in diverse immigrants. Is there any truth to this? 日本が多様な移民を受け入れなきゃいけないっていうフォースを受けていると言ってる人がいるんだって。真実と思うか？言ってる人がいるんだろ？うん。いるんだ。 いやいやいや、そう、イギリス人のユーチューバーがなんかそういう風に言ってんだけど、それ正しいのって、その多様性、diverse immigrants。うん。うん。My husband says, absolutely not true. Why do we have to accept? But だからそういう風にしろって言ってる勢力がある。でもその人はコンサバティブなんだよ。でも日本もそういう風にだから、まあプレッシャーかかってるじゃないけど。うん。うん。Yeah. Leftists want immigrants here, but the majority of immigrants. うん。うん。Leftists. So when leftists in Japan or regarding Japan, they want to basically the fundamental thought process of them is that they want to bash Japan. So they use immigrant aspect, but they say that so that they can bash Japan for not taking immigrants like the West. You know what I mean? So that's so true. My husband is so true. Yeah. It's always whatever the topic is, the left side is like, oh, Japan is so behind. Oh, Japan is did this and that before, like in the past. We are so cruel. So we should do something about it, apologize to other Asian nations, blah blah blah. Always what they want to do is to attack Japan so that we get weakened, just like with your white guilt, it weakens our country, right? So that's what they want to do. The argument is that increasing immigration is a requirement for WEF loans, World Economic Forum. ワールドエコノミックフォーラムのローンのための必要条件と言ってる人がいる。うん。We are like, okay. Yeah. They say it was about loans from the UN or something. Energy also wanted this diverse immigration stipulation. NGO がこれを stipulation ってなんだ？契約や合意における特定の条件や要件を指す英語の単語。協定の条件。Interesting. Say a prayer for us, Yoko. Say a prayer? How does it work? Do you guys say prayer like for at dinner and so on? Thanks to Yoko, grocery man. Yeah, he's the grocery man. Yes. Super no grocery. I don't know where they get their information on this from though. そういう人たちがどこでそのインフォメーション取ってるかわかんない。Yeah. There are people that wants to agitate this type of things, there's the big government, like global government, that is controlling us and blah, blah, blah. No. No. No, it doesn't work like that. It's politics is such a it's so everything is like tangled up, like of course our enemies are doing a lot to harm us, but we are doing our side as well, and sometimes like we compromising here and there, so like our enemies are friends, but like it's not always the case, and it's confusing. Politics is so. What's interesting is that when I realized that is actually I've met like real psychics. They exist, you know. I've met real psychics, and this woman is really like I don't know how she does it, but she always is correct. You know, she like when we no longer talk to her, but when we ask her for her advice, it happens exactly oddly, like it happens perfectly to what she says. And so like we were always protected. So sad that we don't talk to her. But when it comes to politics, she was off. And what I notice is that it's because there are lots of greeds and intentions of everybody, you know. So like it changes constantly. So it's hard, right? Anyway. Ah, thank you for your super chat. 配信ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。Thank you so much. Yeah, we should go greet to our kami. Yep. Hopefully before 5 we get there. Usually shrines closes the main, like you can still go in, but they shut the door of the kami place. So we don't want that to happen. We want to greet. So I'm sorry this was late, but I was not feeling well earlier. But now that I talk to you, you guys gave me so much good vibes. So I'm feeling a lot better. So now I can walk. I can walk to the shrine. Thank you. We can talk about immigrants later again. Oh, super chat. Sorry, I missed this. How do you know if a Japanese being authentic, nice to you, and also is it the first or is it your house haunted? It's hard to detect, but usually you know the courtesy language, you know, and you just have to know the person. I think that our niceness is actually similar to America's culture, you know, when it comes to like relationships, you know, like how you talk to each other, it's pretty similar to how we do here. So not much different, I think. Just that, yeah, we can't really read people. We make mistakes too, reading people. Like, oh, we thought that he was nice. No, you know, it happens all the time. Yeah. But I guess that for that, Japanese people talk to each like a lot of people, you know, not just the one person, but we hear rumors and so on to check, you know, do the background check, basically. So get information. So another reason why we have a peaceful culture, you know, we talk to everybody. We don't talk in the meeting, but we talk behind the scenes. Anyway, devout Christians pray in the morning, at breakfast, lunch, dinner, before teas, after teas, when stressed. That's so nice. I probably like Lotus Easters. Interesting. Yeah, I should learn about the UK. Yeah, I understand English, but not much about the UK. So, oh, super chat, last super chat. Thank you. I saw John, and now I never want to go to the Japanese haunted house. The ghost lady was kind of cute, though. Not gonna lie. Oh, I haven't seen John actually, but I watched The Ring. So scary. But I did this. I was scaring off people when I was younger. But yeah, it's okay. I'll be your angel. Even though I'm alive, I can still protect you. Yeah. Just remember whenever you're scared, just remember that me and my bird and my dog and my husband are here. Okay, gotta go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the super chat. It really, really helps me. Thank you. See, this is what Japanese people do. Thank you. Like this is a sorry gesture. Sorry, but thank you. we do that. Okay. Anyway, gotta go to the shrine. So thank you again. Let's talk again next week, okay? Around this time or earlier. Be ready. Subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so you won't miss it. Okay. Stay. Gotta go. Okay. Have a good night, guys. Oh, last super chat. Thank you. See you next week, Yoko. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Have a good week, okay? And if you miss me, follow me on X. Okay. Bye. Bye.